Let's face it, guys, job interviews can be an intimidating part of life, right? There's so much thought that needs to go into the interviews. What you're going to say is most importantly, how you look, and even what fragrance you're wearing. So, to kind of take the pressure off you guys a little bit, I'm going to help you out with the fragrance aspect of this, all right? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 6 fragrances that I think would be killer for a job interview. Now, I should say that these are all going to be blue fragrances, or the majority of them are, because for a job interview, right, you want to go for something more safe, more mellow, more relaxed, even not something that's going to, project a bunch and be super noticeable. In fact, I would advise strongly against wearing anything like that, or anything with, unique notes like oud. Of course, you don't want to go with oud or anything that, might potentially offend somebody. So this list is pretty much just safe fragrances, but the fact that they're safe fragrances makes them ideal for job interviews. All right, let's get into it with number 1. First up, I have a new blue fragrance of mine that I actually really like the composition. I think the performance is perfect for this scenario. The one I'm talking about is Yves Saint Laurent YSL Eau de Parfum. Now, this stuff is like a blue fragrance with a twist, right? It has a very strong apple note. It's very crisp, very mellow, very pleasant. And the best part of it is that it sits very close to the skin, at least with me personally. I don't really get any projection from this one. But that would make it ideal for job interviews, because the only time that somebody would really smell this on me, or potentially smell this on me, is when I go up to shake the person's hand. Or, I mean, now with the COVID thing, doing the elbow or whatever that is. But yeah, so this one, is absolutely not going to offend anybody. I mean, I think even if you spray on the entire bottle, you're not going to offend anybody with this one. And that's why it's a great choice for a job interview. Next up is one that I have to give props to. It is literally the first fragrance that got me into the game, and it is a perfect one for job interviews. All right, so the one I'm talking about is Dolce&Gabanna, the One. Now, this stuff is really lacking in terms of performance. I get 4 hours out of it. Projection's very light. But the thing is, for a job interview, it doesn't really matter how long it's going to last, because max length for an interview is probably like an hour, if that, right? So this stuff will definitely get the job done. It's a very light, ambery tobacco fragrance, very masculine too. So you walk into the interview wearing this, chances are, if it's a guy, they're going to recognize this one. A lot of guys, they use this one for work, and they keep a bottle in their desk because the performance is so lacking. So they, halfway through the day, refresh themselves with it. Uh, but for that reason, if you go into an interview wearing this one, chances are you're already going to, be able to connect with the interviewer just from, the fragrance. Will be like, oh yeah, I recognize that one. It's Dolce & Gabbana, the One. And of course, just like YSL Eau de Parfum, it is very light, and it doesn't project a bunch, so it's not going to be very noticeable after the initial handshake. Number 3 on this list is one that seems to find its way into every list I do, probably because it is such a mass appealing, versatile fragrance. And yes, it is perfect for a job interview. All right, the one I'm talking about, you may have guessed it, is a Sauvage Eau de Parfum, one of my absolute favorites. It is just such a masculine, pleasant, encapsulating fragrance. Everybody knows this one. Everybody loves this one. Well, just about everybody loves this one. A lot of people think this is just super sexy and appealing, and although you're probably not going for a sexy vibe on a job interview, unless perhaps you're going for a job as a male model or a stripper or something, you know what I mean? Usually, it doesn't matter about, how sexy the fragrance makes you smell. But this stuff, wow, you're going to walk into the office, you're going to kill the interview, and you're going to leave, and all the women are going to be watching you as you leave because this stuff is a chick magnet, I'm telling you. Not like that matters again, but perfect for a job interview. Number 4 on the list is perhaps one of the most popular office fragrances, but there's a reason it's the most popular. All right, the one I'm talking about is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Now, this stuff sits super close to the skin. It's very nice. It's a very safe fragrance. All right, there is nothing really unique about this one. I mean, there is a nice mint note in it, which kind of gives it a little something special. But for the most part, it is just a very safe, pleasant choice, which makes it ideal for job interviews. All right, this one is just like you're gonna walk in, shake the person's hand, and they're going to, recognize this. They might not recognize it's the parfum, but they're going to know that it's Bleu de Chanel. And much like with Dolce and Gabbana, the one, this could be an instant connection with the interviewer. And the more you connect with your interviewer on an emotional and personal stand, the better the interview actually goes, or the higher chances are that they'll think of you as a good choice for hiring, because people are like that. They always want somebody who they can connect with, and fragrances are potentially a great way to connect with people, right? So think of it like that. When you're going into an interview, you want to wear something that your interviewer probably knows. Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Number 5 on the list is actually one that the interviewer probably won't recognize unless they're into fragrances, right? The one I'm talking about is Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Now, some people disagree that this is a professional fragrance, but hear me out. It is just so light and airy and crisp, and just an overall great office fragrance. In fact, I've had the best luck from this fragrance wearing it in an office setting, and actually at interviews too. So this one, I have personal experience. I can tell you this one works. People love this one, girls love this one. Again, not like that necessarily matters, but it is a very nice professional fragrance, but it's not too professional. I think that's a good thing as well. So it's going to tell the interviewer that, yeah, I'm ready to do some work, but I also have a playful, kind of youthful side as well. And that's why, especially if you're a younger guy, I think this one for a job interview is going to just be amazing for you. Fragrance number 6 is actually no fragrance at all. All right, and hear me out. All right, because a job interview, you're going into it, and more times than not, you're probably sitting down and talking with a stranger or strangers. There could be multiple people there. And the thing about fragrances, even blue fragrances, some people just do not like the smell of them. They don't like that kind of chemically synthetic, or, they just don't like perfume. Simple as that. So when walking into a situation, I would say first off, determine if you're meeting with one person or you're meeting with a group. If you're meeting with a group, I wouldn't wear anything. I'd play it safe. I'd wear obviously deodorant, I'd take a shower, put on some aftershave or whatever to smell a little nice. But I wouldn't throw on a fragrance. If it's one person, it's your choice, but chances are, they won't mind the fragrance. So, wearing one that I gave on this list would be a good choice. But again, if you just want to play it super safe, go in with no fragrance, because really at the end of the day, I don't think you're getting hired based on the fragrance you're wearing or not wearing, But the fact of the matter is, if you're wearing something that's constantly offending the person the whole interview, they might not even be paying attention to what you're saying, because they're like just thinking like, oh, I can't wait for this guy to leave. This guy's fragrance is just ruining the interview for me. So, first off, before you even walk into the interview, I think you should consider that. Like, do you even want to wear something? Or do you just want to play it safe and just, use your great personality to win the interviewer over? But what do you guys think of my list? Do you have any fragrances kind of assigned for going out on job interviews, or anything you wear to the office constantly that you think would work? Are there any fragrances on my list that you don't think would work well in an interview? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you haven't given this one a thumbs up yet, definitely do so. And remember to subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date. Alright, but before you leave, remember, when you look and smell your best, you feel your best. And that's what